So that is why we need to be careful on certain subjects. And this is one of that subject which is very small in the curricula, which is chapter number 4, social factors, but has a deep implications because it directly hits where it is required to hit. And even though it is not relevant to my industry, certain topics like human right, we need to be careful that we are not totally disaligned or disengaged with these topics. That's what I'm talking here. I'm not saying that the company who doesn't want to become totally pro human rights company as per UNHCR and become a subservient to United Nations agenda or some other country agenda, but at least you should be aligned, aware, and know what are my boundaries. And that can only happen if company learns about certain topic like human rights. And here in human rights, we will be covering three major topics: the fundamental right, the constitutional right of those companies which are in those jurisdiction, and how investor looks into such kind of judicial matter, right? For example, if I am going and investing in a company in Cuba, just imagine I'm a US company and I have created a fund which wants to invest in a company in Cuba. Now, Cuba human rights standard will be totally different than the company which is sitting in America. Will be definitely right because both has a different mindset. One is communism mindset, one is capitalism mindsets. So how to align these two so that my investment remain intact because I want to invest in a company which works on the basis of equitable rights. And then challenge comes like Trump, right? He said there is no equitable rights to all people. That's how it is working out right now, right? White supremacy, etc., etc. Everything is coming in play. Black Lives Matters comes in play. Women matters comes in play. Then LGBTQ plus comes into play. So he doesn't want to play in this light. His supporters, advisors, has coined a term, not coined a term, it's a new generation term called woke culture, WOKE. And it's look, it is a problem. It is a virus, definitely, which Tesla boss talks about it in detail. It is a problem. Now, that problem cannot be addressed without engaging it. Across world, people have seen till the time you don't engage with the problem directly, you won't be able to solve it. Just by putting under the carpet, 4 year, Mr. Trump can put it under the carpet after 4 years. Right now, you got a vote share of 49.8%. 49.8%. I have published that, right? Which is highest, by the way, after George Bush. He is the only Republican who got so much of vote share because India is always 50, sorry, America is always 50-50 divides here. So there is a chance this may tilt when the people who do not have any opinion shift their opinion, and in that case such political agendas might be challenged. At that point in time it will be very difficult to address a topic which was there under the carpet for 4 years. We have seen in his last term, the last few months or weeks, where how did it went, where people went to the White House, right, with the guns and etc.,
They ransacked it.
ransack the capital place. So point here is everywhere there should be boundary and engagement is the right policy. And to have that engagement for corporates or investor, there are tools which you need to understand, learn, and try to see how much of it I can adopt. Okay, which is fundamental rights, UN guiding principle, and OECD guidelines. So these are the three major guidelines which need to be learned in this chapter, which we will try to address. Second part is, of course, human capital development. No company can survive in long term because we are talking about long term in CFA ESG certification or sustainability. You need to have your manpower growing continuously. अदरवाइज बताइए रजनी जी को, मुझे, जयशंकर जी को, जयशेखर जी को, रवि को क्या यूज है नया टॉपिक पढ़ने का. बट वी आर डूइंग इट बिकॉज वी नो वी कैन नॉट सस्टेन इन लॉन्ग टर्म विदाउट गेनिंग न्यू स्किल. स्किल की बात हो रही है यहाँ पे.
Absolutely.
नॉट एजुकेशन, एजुकेशन हो गया वो 20
हो
साल
गया।
साल किया, डन डील. बट गिरीश इज डूइंग पीएचडी not just to get another medal on his chest or on his shoulder. He wants to do PhD because he knows if he wants to remain relevant, he has to get additional certification, which is CFA ESG, joining our program or doing PhD. गलत हो तो बताना गिरीश. अगर आपको लगता हो कि आपके ये कर लेने से पीएचडी आपको 2 लाख एक्स्ट्रा पर मंथ आने वाला है तो भूल जाओ.
नहीं नहीं, वो सोच ही नहीं है। वो तो मैंने आपको जब मेरी बात हुई थी इस topic पे, पैसा का तो कोई
मुझे
सोच
मालूम
ही
है.
नहीं।
आई एम जस्ट आस्किंग दैट पीपल शुड
पैसा
अंडरस्टैंड दैट कि एजुकेशन इज नॉट फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ गेनिंग एडिशनल मनी. ऑफ कोर्स मनी आता है, जहां सरस्वती रहेंगी लक्ष्मी जरूर आएंगी. बट पॉइंट ये है कि उसके लिए यू आर नॉट डूइंग फॉर अलोन फॉर दैट पर्पस, यू आर डूइंग इट बिकॉज इफ यू वांट टू रिमेन रिलेवेंट in long term, which is a whole topic of sustainability, you need to keep gaining something new and remove the mosh. Means जो क्या बोलते हैं उसको, ऑन द, एक है ना, देर इज इडियम सेज रोलिंग स्टोन डजंट गैदर मॉश. so that moss, to remove that moss also should keep happening. So unlearning भी होनी चाहिए साथ साथ में, right? And that is what the human capital development is all about, where we talk about the workforce which are equipped with certain tasks, how to handle them, how to let them grow in their own field. So they become specialized. They have to be jack of all. In Generation Alpha, that is mandatory requirement. You have to be jack of all. But you need to also have that specialization going on. So tomorrow you become a champion in that area. अब वाई आई एम सेइंग जैक ऑफ ऑल, क्योंकि अगर आपको एआई नहीं आता, एमएल नहीं आता, ईएसजी समझ में नहीं आता, क्वालिटी नहीं पता आपको, तो आप इररिलेवेंट हो जाओगे कल. कितने लोग इसमें विश्वास करते हैं कि यू विल बिकम इररिलेवेंट इफ यू डोंट गेट दीज काइंड ऑफ सिंपलर टॉपिक्स. से यस इन द चैट बॉक्स और से यस बाय अनम्यूटिंग योरसेल्फ.
Yes, yes, very much, yes.
Yes, very much, sir.
एब्सोल्युटली. वो लगेगा कि जैक ऑफ ऑल होने की बात हो रही है यहाँ पे. मुझे मैं क्यों जानू एआई को यूज कैसे करना है, बोल सकता हूँ ना मैं. आई एम एक्सपर्ट इन माई ESG, वाई आई शुड लर्न AI. Ask Anchika, without AI, my company doesn't go one step. We do not do a single step without using AI. Kyun? Because I want to be competitive. Let anybody do anything in market, I need to be one step extra to them. And that can only come if I add certain new stuff in my offerings. And that is AI. Okay? So kabhi mere participants, my participants should not feel that they are just learning from one book. नो वी नेवर डू दैट इन इंडिया. तो कभी भी हमारा एक बुक रहा ही नहीं है. हमारे पास तो मतलब वेदास है, क्या बोलते हैं, कितने हैं, मतलब नंबर सब मेरे को काउंट नहीं याद है. बट वी हैव सेवरल बुक्स, राइट? इन सर्टन कल्चर इट्स ओनली वन बुक, वी नेवर फॉलोड. सो वो आदत ही नहीं है अपनी कि एक बुक से हम पढ़ाई करें. हम हमेशा चाहते हैं कि आपको बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट कंटेंट मिले. वो तभी मिल सकता है व्हेन आई हैव exhausted all the limits on earth, and that comes from the new skills which are available. And that is why
सर ये सीएफए में भी है ना अलग एक क्लाइमेट रिस्क वैल्यूएशन एंड इन्वेस्टिंग का सर्टिफिकेशन कुछ.
25 सर्टिफिकेशन उन लोगों ने लॉन्च करके रखे हैं. बट
अच्छा,
स्टिल पीपल डाई टू गेट दिस सर्टिफिकेशन विच यू आर डूइंग,
तो ये इज वन
क्लाइमेट.
ऑफ द बेस्ट आउट ऑफ ऑल दिस.
और मतलब दिस इज द ओनली वन वेयर 41,000 पीपल हैव गॉन थ्रू दिस प्रोसेस. 11,000 लोग ही सर्टिफाइड है अभी तक.
द क्लाइमेट रिस्क में भी न्यूअर वर्ड
Very new.
सम लेटेस्ट.
That is again to just give a competition to SCR, because SCR
ओके,
leads there, right? Risk.
हाँ हाँ, इसके बाद एससीआर
बट
वाला ही
एस
चलता है।
हाँ.
एससीआर इज
और
वेरी कॉस्टली
एसीआर
ना
का अपना अलग
कंपैरेटिवली.
डोमेन है. एसीआर का अलग
वो
डोमेन है, करेक्ट.
वो अलग
तो
चीज है,
दिस
वो
डोमेन
एसआरएम वाला
द
एक अलग
क्लाइमेट रिस्क वाला
सेगमेंट।
और एससीआर का डोमेन ऑलमोस्ट सेम हो जाता है.
ऑलवेज सेम है. उसी के लिए लॉन्च ही किया गया है कि CFA is saying that look, if you want to do that, get a training here, and kept it very easier right now. So you can do that also program, but those are certificates which are just come up. It will take time. Maybe tomorrow climate tech will be the most advanced, and this CFA will nobody will do, which I doubt. But you
उसका
never know.
ट्रेनिंग itself is आई थिंक अराउंड 1 लाख रुपी.
वही, वो तो सेम है ना, UNPRI का सिमिलर है. देयर आर सेवरल. लुक, सर्टिफिकेशन यू कैन टेक एनी, पॉइंट कितना है, नॉलेज आपको कितना मिला,
नहीं, that's what
सर्टिफिकेट का आप 50
actually
डालोगे।
we don't know, but
अरे आई नो, गिरीश तो नो, जेना को जानता है, मतलब सारे लोगों को जानता है जो चार चार सर्टिफिकेट लेके बैठे हुए हैं, पीएचडी भी कर रहे हैं, जो स्टडी लाइन में है, दे नो ऑल दीज पीपल हु आर टेकिंग 3-4 सर्टिफिकेट्स। बट सर्टिफिकेट के बाद आर दे एबल टू ऐड वैल्यू टू दैट पर्टिकुलर सेगमेंट। अब मैं पूछने जाऊंगा किसी से कि आपने सर्टिफिकेट एससीआर भी लिया, आपने सर्टिफिकेट सीएफए ईएसजी भी ले लिया, चलो बढ़िया, यू आर मोस्ट स्टूडियस गाय, टेल मी हाउ मच कंट्रीब्यूशन यू आर मेकिंग टू इन्वेस्टमेंट फर्टिलिटी एंड हाउ मच कंट्रीब्यूशन यू आर मेकिंग टू वर्ल्ड बैंक। इफ यू आर नॉट मेकिंग, देन यू आर वेस्टिंग बोथ द सर्टिफिकेट्स वैल्यू। सो 50 सर्टिफिकेट गैदर करना इज गुड फॉर putting those laurels when you will become chief of staff or when you will become chief of air force, you need those, I agree with you, but पहले बनो तो सही आप उसका एयर मार्शल। फर्स्ट यू, when you will become air marshal, then you can showcase कि भैया मैंने इतने wars लड़े हैं। when you are not there and you are just gathering as many certificate as you want, you are wasting your time and you are wasting somebody else's seat as well. Okay, so be careful. That's what, don't waste the resources on earth. Point here is कि when we talk about human capital development, we talk about how to equip our workforce so that they can perform those tasks easier, conveniently, and with cutting edge information which they required. And this is a responsibility lying with whom? The investors, the decision makers, like Subodh sitting on the board of director has that responsibility to deliver enough tools and equipments, enough information so that the guy sitting on the lathe machine should be able to make right decision. सिंपल है ना, ये बहुत डिफिकल्ट है इंप्लीमेंट करने में, टिल द टाइम यू अंडरस्टैंड एंड अलाइन विद द कंसेप्ट्स इटसेल्फ, एंड दैट इज व्हाट वी आर लर्निंग इन social factors. Then comes responsibility and adaptability. This is another part which your company, investee company should take. What is that? They have a responsibility to deliver cutting edge technology. They have a responsibility to make sure their staff is getting updated with new information which is there on the block. They have a responsibility to provide an environment for continuous learning. इसलिए मैंने अंशिका को बोला कि इफ योर कंपनी सेज डोंट स्टडी न्यू थिंग्स, डोंट प्रैक्टिस न्यू स्टफ, you can leave such kind of company. No need to work for companies which are not looking for your side of career expansion. आप जिंदगी
सर बहुत सारे कॉर्पोरेट मार्केट में ऐसे हैं, और बहुत सारे कॉर्पोरेट के सीनियर्स हैं जो कभी नहीं चाहते हैं कि आपका स्किल ग्रोथ हो, क्योंकि
क्योंकि उनका खुद का नहीं है ना।
नहीं नहीं, अगर अगर आपको अनिष्का ये कह रही है ना, तो मैं सच बोलता हूँ। मैं दिल्ली में भी ऐसी बहुत सारी कंपनियों को जानता हूँ जहां पर लोग इस चीज के लिए मतलब हैं। अगर आप वो छोड़ो, कई जगह अगर आप एचआर में चले जाओ, आपका रिज्यूम पर अगर उन्होंने देख लिया तो पहले रिज्यूम रिजेक्ट कर देंगे, या आपने वर्बली भी बोल दिया कि आप परस्यू कर रहे हो कोई कोर्स, तो उनको तकलीफ हो जाएगी।
I agree with you. They are saying
ठीक
new
है।
has come.
मैनेजमेंट डिसीजन मैं बताता हूँ। मैनेजमेंट डिसीजन ये होता है कि आप हमेशा लोन में दबे रहो। आप कोई ना कोई लोन ले लो। अगर आप अनमैरिड हो तो आप बाइक, फोर व्हीलर, या सॉरी अगर किसी को बुरा लगे,
हाँ,
एक
मैं
एक
खरीद
दो
लूँ।
एक दो एक दो गर्लफ्रेंड रखो, ताकि आप पे एक्सपेंसिव लिएबिलिटी रहे। ये मैनेजमेंट, हाँ सर मैं बता रहा हूँ।
बोल रही है।
हम लोग को भी ट्रेनिंग में ये बोला जाता था कि अगर आपके पास इस तरह के एम्प्लॉय है तो उनको इन चीजों, मतलब ताकि उन पे लिएबिलिटी रहे, ताकि वो भागे नहीं, लेकिन वो
इसीलिए
पैसा अपना वो स्किल डेवलपमेंट में नहीं लगाए।
इसीलिए आपको सोशल फैक्टर ऑफ सीएफए ईएसजी करिकुला पढ़ाना चाहिए उन लोगों को, राइट? दैट विल मेक अ कंपनी विच कैनॉट सस्टेन। लुक, एक बात तो सही है कि यू शुड नॉट बी मैरिड विथ योर कंपनी, यू शुड बी मैरिड विथ योर स्पाउस। ओके, दैट इट्स ए नॉट ए इडियम, इट्स नॉट a कहावत, it should be followed. Yeah,
You should be skilled
unfortunately,
enough to leave it also.
sorry.
You should be skilled to leave it in a minute.
Absolutely. The moment you realize कि company is thinking such kind of, or they have such kind of thought process, I am not right fit for it. And by the way, let me tell you, young kids are very clear on all this. It's right now with me, more than 10 Gen Alpha is working. And what I'm, company like ours doesn't need too many people, right? But we love to take them on board because we have a learning happening with them कि अभी की क्राउड को क्या चाहिए. दे आर वेरी सॉलिड गिरीश. अगर उनको पता चल जाएगा ना कान में कि कंपनी ऐसा सोचती है कि मैं लोन में दबा रहा हूं, ऐसा वो लोन लेगा. अपनी मर्जी से लोन तो घूमने के लिए ले रहा है. आप तो जानते ही नहीं हो नया जनरेशन. दे आर टेकिंग लोन टू गो टू श्रीलंका and have
सर ऐसा ही है।
experience, have a new experience, and they will come back after 5 days. या उनको
वेरी
छुट्टी
राइट,
के लिए कंपनी छोड़
वेरी
देंगे.
राइट, वेरी राइट।
रवि, आप मानोगे नहीं, बॉस में भी बहुत सारे बच्चे हैं जो हमारे इंटर्नशिप केस से गए थे पिछले बार. अ,
हाँ
आपके यहाँ पीईएस कॉलेज से लेते, राइट? सो उनकी
या
डीन
पीएस
माय
हाँ
फ्रेंड. तो उसमें एक बंदी गई थी. सी लेफ्ट इंटर्नशिप. Why? Because their friend decided particular time they want to go and spend in Goa. And internship में हम छुट्टी नहीं देंगे. Between the left and came and joined us. This is what is happening with new generation. And
एग्जैक्टली
they believe in taking experience. और उसके लिए मैंने बोला पैसे कहाँ से लिए भाई तुम लोगों ने? तो बोला कि बॉस ने कुछ दिया ही था मंथली का स्टाइपेंड. And we took some from, I don't know how they did it. I can't disclose that. But
एक एक एक
हाँ,
आर्टिकल आप पढ़ोगे सर कि
फ्रीलांस कर रहे हो.
जब एक
फ्रीलांस
आर्टिकल आप
करके पैसे
पढ़ोगे
कमा
कि
रहे
जब
हैं.
हम लोग के एक आर्टिकल पढ़ोगे जब हम लोग के फादर हुआ करके एज के लोग 50-60 में जाकर करके रिटायर के बाद मकान बनाते थे या तीर्थाटन के लिए निकलते थे।
ओके.
ये गिरीश कुछ पढ़ने नहीं देगा आज.
वो आप समझाइए उसको. ओके, कमिंग बैक टू कंटिन्यूअस लर्निंग. सो कंटिन्यूअस
Very
लर्निंग.
engaging, but he will not let you study. Let's move with the subject.
Okay, we are on record now. So what I'm saying is, continuous learning is a major subject in human capital development, which companies has to or investor has to encourage in the company, or investment decision maker need to understand that no company, society, or caste creed can grow indefinitely if they don't continuously learn and adopt. I think this is the most evident circumstances we have learned. होमोसोपियन करके एक बुक है, 3 सीरीज की बुक है, आप उसको जरूर टाइम मिले. इट्स अ मैसिव बुक. मैं उसका 2 ही सीरीज पढ़ा हूं. Massive books talks about that how human race has sustained and which kind of human race is sustaining. ठीक है. तो वो दिस ओनली टॉक्स अबाउट इट लीड्स टू एवरीथिंग. द बुक साइट्स हिस्टोरिकल एविडेंस ऑफ 2 million years kind of. Okay, it's very good book to read, and it only establishes one fact: the species which stops learning dies off, gets wiped off. Okay, if you don't adopt you will be wiped off. सबने सुना होगा ना, डायनासोर इतने बड़े होते थे, कैसे इतने छोटे छोटे हाथी बनने लगे. वाई? या तो उसका रीजन बताया जाता है, डिफरेंट रीजन है, स्मॉग था, फॉग था, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. बट पॉइंट ये है कि जिसने वो झुकना सीख लिया सरवाइव कर गया. Yeah, that's the point has been established in topic number 2 in social framework, that company and investor along with decision maker need to make such kind of decision that continuous learning gets intact in the company which wants to survive for long term. Third area is another critical area which has been highlighted by compliance procedure across different jurisdictions, including India. Labor code को हम लोग चाहे whatever we say them, but one thing they make is, they should get credit for is that their purpose of existence is work condition, health and safety of the organization and people who are working in the organization. We cannot deny that credit to them. Yeah, they can be corrupt, they can be bad, they can be sometimes jerks who are disturbing us, disrupting our processes. But the intent for which they have been created is all about this. And that's why protecting workforce, and here is very good case study is there, Rana Plaza example. Please read that when we meet next time, and then we will go in detail. Yeah, and somebody must be doing a project on that. So working condition, health and safety need to be intact, and that also brings a workplace ethics and a standard and a framework which can create a sustainable company. Last part, we will focus on labor rights. which requires freedom of association. Here comes those human rights का वो portion which is for the group of people. It applies to group of people, and first of those is freedom of association. Now we will try to understand why it is important, what are the case which is in favor of it, but we should not forget sometime it becomes a burden to company, and that part also should be learned, that why it is burden to company and what that company should do to feel like they are also having wings with having labor rights. Yeah, this is a little extra part which I will try to cover in the next session. Nothing directly related to or relevant to the course. But this is one of the challenges which we face in consulting assignment all the time. Whenever we will talk about social factor, we get stuck here. You won't believe the situation we sit in the room. Full board of directors is sitting, and the moment you will utter work freedom of association, you will see everybody's eyes rolls, or few of them will be so in jittery they will leave the room. मतलब बकवास कर रहे हैं लोग. And when you will get the feedback from your CS, CSO, etc., you will come to know that that guy has even used very good, nice curse words for us. Yeah, they want to bring something which nobody likes it. How to deal with certain scenario need to be learned. That's an additional skill which we will discuss and talk about it. And then, of course, modern day slavery. Sorry, Rajni ji.
No, no, sir. I was just coughing.
Okay, so modern day slavery and forced labor is another issue which again remains under the carpet all the time. All the time. It's related to the group of companies, and you won't believe this still exists. कितने लोगों को शॉकर लगा और कितने लोगों को लगता है ये तो सही बात बोला जा रहा है. This still exists. Modern day slavery and forced workers still exist across world, be it develop, be it development. कितने लोगों को लगता है सही बात है, कितने लोगों को लगता है ये तो जोक मारा जा रहा है.
It is true.
Even
1%.
most
True,
of the
true.
top bureaucrats are also kind of a, because even
Forced
I have felt,
Forced labor.
even I have felt it.
labor. But at least you are a royal forced worker, right? You have
ना ना
Yeah,
सर,
royal.
18-18
but
20-20 घंटे काम करने के बाद भी आपका काम पूरा नहीं हो रहा तो
और
आप,
कोई मिनिस्टर आएगा गाली देके जाएगा बिना मतलब के, उसको कुछ नहीं मालूम
खैर
है.
वो तो महिला होने का एडवांटेज था, गाली तो फ्रंट पर नहीं दे पाते थे, लेकिन लेकिन ये था कि हाँ स्लेवरी जैसा तो
फील होता है.
ऐसा फील नहीं होता था, बिकॉज यू आर हेडिंग एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन
Right.
and you have a team is looking at you, so you can't behave in such a rude manner, but you used to feel suffocated. Yes.
Sure. But this exists in real life world. अगर ऐसा नहीं होता तो आज इंडिया में इमिग्रेंट लेबरर्स को जो एक्सपोर्ट किया जा रहा है या थ्रोन आउट किया जा रहा है यूएस से, उनको हथकड़ी लगा के नहीं किया जाता. These laborers were the forced laborers in that country. Yeah. Whatever he wants to talk about, let him say that. But the fact was, these laborers were working there, right? Otherwise, why they will go there even? It's an illegal route, right? So there are forced labor even in developed countries and developing countries. अगर वैसा नहीं होता तो how many of you know there is a Nobel laureate sitting in Madhya Pradesh has got that Nobel Prize because he has rescued more than 2000 child laborers. अब आप बोल सकते हो कि ऑर्गेनाइज में नहीं है. देन गो एंड जस्ट मेक अ राउंड इन गुरुग्राम के फेज 4 में उद्योग बिहार में. जस्ट गो एंड टेक अ राउंड. हाफ, स्टिल हाफ तो नहीं बोलूंगा लेकिन 30% मीन्स दिस इज आई हैव डन पर्सनली, आई वर्क देयर. 30% कंपनियों के आगे बोर्ड लगा हुआ है यहाँ पे बच्चे काम नहीं करते हैं. टेल मी, कहाँ ऐसा आपने देखा होगा जहाँ थूका नहीं जा रहा हो, बोर्ड लगा हो यहाँ पर भगवान का फोटो लगा है, प्लीज नहीं थूकिए पान खा के. ऐसा कहीं आपने देखा है क्या? So there is a smoke when there is a fire. And this is a reality of Indian. I'm just
In
saying
con in construction sites, you can always see this.
easiest place, correct ना? Hotels, roadside ढाबास तो हमेशा आपको मिलेंगे. But I'm saying even in organized sector, sometime assembly line पे आपको मिल जाएंगे underage workers, contract ones mostly. मतलब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ही मिलेंगे, परमानेंट तो आप ले ही नहीं सकते ना, इलीगल है। सो पॉइंट ये है कि दिस इज द मॉडर्न डे स्लेवरी विच Rajni ji was talking about, that even though we are senior most person in the company, but sometime I feel I am being caged inside it. Yeah, because अब ईयर एंड है, रवि अगर नहीं बैठेंगे 4 बजे सुबह तक, वो फाइल ही नहीं जानी है। Ask Ravi, he's waking up for last couple of months, maybe 4 o'clock, right? Because Australia is waking up at that point in time. करेक्ट है रवि?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
और उनका
Correct.
ईयर एंड नहीं होगा, उनका ईयर एंड तो दिसंबर होता है, राइट?
Ji.
But still you have to wake up to collect all those data and consolidate here if you are doing some consolidation or FC work.
Exactly.
So this is the modern day slavery, which we do not realize. And company can protect their employee against it if they take a right steps to it. That's why BRSR को पढ़ना चाहिए. That's why GRI को पढ़ना चाहिए. Because those matrices highlights the company's exposure to such kind of parameters. आप समझ रहे हैं? That's how we look into LTI frequency. That's how we look into women contribution. That's how we look into man contribution, man hour contribution to the company operation. All those small parameters, if you add it together, you can automatically judge it. And then comes the living wages. Is the wage sufficient for that person to operate in that kind of situation? Need to be understood, developed, and detailed. This is just a summary I have given you. Of course, let's go to mind map now and try to look into these factors little in detail. Next session, we'll go slide by slide with the details which is given in the book. Are you guys okay with that proposition?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, थोड़ा informative रखते हैं आज का session. Next session में we'll go to the syllabus. और रमेश जी
सर
आप
सर संडे को
Yeah,
मत रखिएगा,
perfect.
नेक्स्ट सेशन वेडनेसडे को रख लीजिएगा।
यार गिरीश, आपके लिए कोई सेशन ही ना रखे तो बेटर है। आप
नहीं, मैं हूं नहीं, मैंने पहले आपको पता है मैं।
यार मुझे पता है, लेकिन आपको टाइम निकालना पड़ेगा यार, 2 घंटे का टाइम है, 7 to 9, 7 रात में 7 o'clock मीन्स यू आर, इफ यू आर नॉट अ फोर्स वर्कर, यू आर डबल फोर्स वर्कर एक्चुअली। एक तो संडे, उसमें भी 7 to 9 यू आर एंगेज, और वो भी अपने पर्सनल ग्रोथ के लिए, और सोशल फैक्टर पढ़ने जा रहे हो यार। मतलब सोशल फैक्टर का तो आप कम से कम रेस्पेक्ट कर दो।
अब नहीं बोल पाएगा सर ये।
Ramesh ji, what do you think? At least for this factor study, everybody should come on Sunday evening time for their personal growth. What do you-
Sure.
तो एक्चुअली संडे को ना सर रामनवमी है, फेस्टिवल भी है, तो सम पीपल विल
ये
बी,
वाले संडे को, और वो तो हर एक संडे को कुछ ना कुछ तो है ही।
इसीलिए गिरीश बिजी है।
नहीं नहीं।
नहीं नहीं सर, वो वहां जाना है, मुझे त्रिची जाना है।
अच्छा, हाँ, योर इंटरव्यू इज देयर, राइट? हाउ इज इट गोइंग प्रिपरेशन?
सर ठीक है, चल रहा है, शिलोंग से भी आ गया है।
अच्छे, यू आर गोइंग देयर एज वेल नाउ?
नहीं, शिलोंग में शायद ऑनलाइन होगा।
अच्छे, दैट इज ऑनलाइन, ओके ओके ओके, गुड। शिलोंग में तो हो जाना चाहिए, नहीं? विल बी एबल
नहीं
टू।
सर, दोनों जगह हो जाएगा। 3 जगह के लिए मैं श्योर हूँ, 5 भरा है, 3 जगह के लिए श्योर हूँ।
अरे
एक जगह का मन मन नहीं है, 3 जगह के लिए श्योर हूँ।
हेलो हेलो।
या सॉरी, कैन यू हियर मी? सॉरी।
हाँ हाँ
Yeah,
सर,
yeah.
yes.
Clear. Okay, so let's go one by one and understand which are the critical topic in social factor we have to understand. First, introduction part, we will try to cover following main topics, starting with relevant from business and investment perspective to social factors. How social factor is relevant to businesses and investments. Why we should even learn about it. That will be established in the first topic. Second topic, we will look into how nowadays it is increasingly factored into investment analysis and decision making. Social factor, why people are using it, what investors are expecting from companies to manage issues like best in class operation. Always remember this particular word. Social factor may you will always use best in class approach. You remember there were different approaches which we learned in introductory session number 1. One of those approach was best in class approach. Any other approach do you remember from chapter number one. You don't get shocked that I'm asking chapter number one ka discussion. But anybody remembers, other than best in class approach, what are the other approaches available for investment in sustainability?
Ethical approach,
Correct. Ethical approach, impact approach, right?
impact
Impact based.
approach, then SI जो था last वाला
Correct. Correct.
पूरा
Good. Good. Your memory is very good. Wonderful. So that is how the best one is best in class. One of those is best in class, which we should be using. That is spectrum we are talking about here. There was one slide where we have shown you the spectrum started from अपना पहला चालू हुआ था कौन सा वो अल्कोहल नॉन अल्कोहल रवि इफ यू रिमेम्बर
हम्म,
Tobacco.
टोबैको एब्सोल्युटली
Tobacco.
ये सब कंपनी में हम लोग नहीं करते राइट सो दैट
Sin.
सिन
then
इन्वेस्टमेंट
Christian वो religion based था ना सर
रिलीजन बेस्ड था क्वैक्स एंड मेथोडिस्ट यूजेस दैट
क्रिश्चियंस का अलग था कुरान का शियास का अलग था
करेक्ट
हम्म,
आपको वो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में था एंड राइट हैंड साइड में
जी
बेस्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट और सोशली कॉग्निजेंट इन्वेस्टमेंट था वो पार्ट यहाँ पे बेस्ट इन क्लास इज यूज सो सोशल में ऑलवेज यू ट्राई टू इन्वेस्ट इन दोज कंपनी which maintains all the parameters in social at the best level. Now comes social issue can be investable opportunity. So if you find any issue in any company, don't see that this is no go for me. Rather see from different lens, like you did it in environment. If company is polluting too much, then I can invest in that company because alpha can be generated. Why? Because I will ask them to slowly, I will negotiate, invest in those technology where I will capture this carbon accounts, make them carbon neutral, and then they will become a alpha oriented company. सोचो growth कितना है ऐसे सोचिए if company is totally mismanaging their human resource and I invest in that company right now their rating will be very bad, their productivity is really bad. Social is directly related to productivity. How many of you agree? All of you are decision makers, right? You have seen it. अगर आपका एम्प्लॉय सेटिस्फाइड नहीं है हैप्पी नहीं है कंपनी की प्रोडक्टिविटी क्या होती है
Absolutely, it will be down.
so just imagine that scenario कि now people are happy, they feel they are in Google, they do not want to leave because they are in Infosys of 80s. The moment they feel it is my own business, my own company, yeah, the output goes tremendously high. And here एक थोड़ा सा सबलाइम टॉपिक है कि हाउ टू मेक इट रिलेवेंट टू अल्फा जनरेशन. नाउ अल्फा जनरेशन इज ऑलरेडी हाईली प्रोडक्टिव, दैट्स व्हाई दे आर अनस्टेबल. हाँ, दे आर अनस्टेबल बिकॉज दे आर हाईली प्रोडक्टिव. वो 8 घंटे मतलब लिटरली गोरों के जैसा ही बैठते हैं, प्रोडक्टिविटी वेरी हाई होती है but loyalty zero hai. So how to manage this part also when you are coming as an investor is a new topic of discussion. This is a new age discussion which you have to understand. Apart from that, of course, we will also be looking into company expected to engage their stakeholder openly and transparently. Community part we are talking here. How to engage those guys and get a business which is sustainable. We will also get introduction with or get introduced with how social factor impacts the investment opportunity. Which are those critical social factors which we have to consider? You remember three risks were there, one opportunity was there, right? So you have to understand those risks as well as opportunity relevant to the same. Then we will go and outline social mega trend. We will also today look into those mega trend. What are those mega trend? Yeah, and how that their relationship with business activity changes the dynamics. We'll be looking into how to identify and apply material social topics. Materiality discussion we have done several times. We have done in last chapter about the environmental materiality identification, how to identify those material topic in your company or investee companies. We will do it with now social one. Introduction is enough. And then we will go into social analysis of country, sector, company level. Same what we did into environmental, company, sector, and country level. The downward pyramid and upward pyramid. You remember that, right? Here also it will come. And then practical application and case study. Once you do that introduction, we will go and look into the key social issues. which are relevant to the business activity. Now, key social issue starts with determining which social factors are most controversial, or has the highest financial materiality in each industry. Each industry will have different kind of social factor. For example, textile will have union as a social factor, which will be very critical. Freedom of association could be a material topic for your existence. Yeah, livelihood, because you are competing with Bangladesh, who has no class. You are competing with Sri Lanka, who has forgotten any protection to their employee. Now, how will you survive in such a fierce competition? Are you with me? So that becomes a material and controversial topic which we need to address judiciously. Yeah. In that case, sometimes people say that no, I do not want to go to textile industry. I do not want to invest in textile industry because I cannot protect those rights. I cannot, if I will protect the right, I will be incompetitive. But the company remains. Today's scenario, you know that the company who has maintained the social values, quality, creed, like Arvind Mills, etc. Now, they might have certain portion of it is still doing some nasty work, but because they were following ESG, once movement from Bangladesh has started, 80% of work has come to India. Are you aware about that? 80% of Gucci, Gabbana's, all these guys, cloth manufacturing has come to India.
Oh,
Why?
Yes.
Because
See,
India,
that's the alternative solution actually.
sorry,
That's the only alternate solution because Bangladesh is in bad shape now.
that's safe now. They have nowhere to go. And even though we are little costlier than Bangladesh, but we are showcasing that I am ESG compliant. So they are getting that.
And mainly social factor, no? That is mainly the social factor.
Yes, mainly social factor. Absolutely. And that is the turning point of ESG in textile industry. And huge kind of social audit is happening. Whichever is giving them good or social audit report, all these big companies are throwing money like anything, new contracts like anything. Go to there is a place in Tamil Nadu called
Tirupur,
Tirupur.
Tirupur and one more. Tirupur and उसके नजदीक क्या है? कौन सा डिस्ट्रिक्ट है वो?
Erode, Erode.
Erode, Erode.
All these places are flooded, not only international demand but even local demand because they make
But
man
Tirupur is a hub of this hosiery.
hosiery.
They are exporting 27,000 crores worth material every year.
Just go and check the growth in this year, last 2 years. Just check that mind-boggling number. One of our partner comes from that area, and he's from.
Sir, they have done a lot of water conservation. 99%. See, once upon a time, they have been closed down. Tirupur was totally closed down in 2014 or 15, I think.
Correct.
And this AIDMK government has taken huge steps, and they have provided all the funds and total water recycle. Common effluent plants were put up, and this. I have gone and seen there, sir. I stayed for a week.
True, true. And that is why whoever they took that blow and remain there. Today they are getting the benefit.
And that is totally automated. That means you are recycling 99% of water is visible on the meters. It is not that somebody has this manipulated data and all those
ना
things.
ना ना
Nothing
ना
like that.
वही बोल रहा हूँ ना जो ऑथेंटिक है उसी को मिला है काम.
Oh, yes. They are very authentic,
People
and you
who
can vouch
remain
for them.
value conscious, like
Actually, we also asked them, actually, sir, I asked them to visit us to get the consultancy, but they asked for 1 crore charge only for visit
see,
to our industry. So then it was postponed. Otherwise, they are too costly.
I agree with you. But this is how it happens. Okay.
I met their MD, the company who is supplying that environmental consultancy, na? Their head office was in Chennai. So from Tirupur, I traveled to Chennai next day and met their MD and invited to visit us, Pidilite in Vapi.
Pidilite in Vapi, yeah.
Yeah.
They
But they
must have
told
thought
that minimum charge is 1 crore for any visit.
1 crore की लाख.
Yeah, 1 crore.
Wow.
लाख थोड़ी लेंगे सर.
Wow. That's nice. 1 crore a visit.
Yes. But high level, na? Highest level visit,
Wow.
not this.
Subodh ji,
Yeah.
आप चालू करो वो कंपनी, मैं सपोर्ट करता हूँ।
Then I have effluent treatment. I have a very huge experience.
गुड एक्सपीरियंस चलिए।
Yeah.
हम लोग करते हैं नहीं, वो आईएसओ वाला अभी तक आपने बिड ही नहीं किया,
नहीं
14,000
नहीं सर, वो क्या है,
पीएफएस
दोस्त
वाला।
नहीं नहीं, we have 2 people team. They are already busy for next 3-4 months.
अरे 3-4 मंथ में तो ऐसे भी नहीं आ रहा, वो टेंडर है, सऊदी
अच्छा,
अरेबिया का टेंडर है, आपने
okay, then I'll check
ट्रीटमेंट
tomorrow again.
करना है।
Okay, I'll check tomorrow, sir.
I have already
Actually,
bid, but
I was
still you can quote me once it will come to fruition. We
नहीं
will talk
नहीं,
about.
but for quoting, actually detailing is required. What, how much of man hours and how much
तो वही आप करके
every.
देखिए ना, एटलीस्ट
Okay.
when they will ask us to visit them or start negotiation, I might shift half of the team to you. So
Yeah.
don't lose
Right.
such kind of 1 करोड़ 2 करोड़ का काम छोड़ रहे हो आप।
Actually, sir, last 8-10 days I was busy.
और अब मुझे नहीं लगता ये लोग इतना देंगे, बट एटलीस्ट आधा करोड़ भी दिए तो काम हो जाएगा आपका। चलिए, नेक्स्ट वन। सो द सोशल एलिमेंट्स दैट आर कंसिडर्ड टू हैव लार्जेस्ट फाइनेंशियल ऑन मटेरियलिटी डिपेंड्स अपॉन specific aspect, and each industry, each field of industry has those aspect independent. So we need to know the rules of the game, that how you decide that materiality. Are you with me? कैसे फिश करना है, that we need to learn. मैं फिश लाके अभी सुबोध जी को दे दिया, दैट इज अ डिफरेंट बॉल गेम। बट रजनी जी, हाउ टू फिश इज व्हाट वी नीड टू लर्न फ्रॉम ऑल दिस, राइट? ये जरूरी नहीं कि हर एक बात मैं सालमन ही पकड़ के लाऊंगा और आपके हाथ में पकड़ा दूंगा, बट इफ यू नो हाउ टू कैच द सालमन, यू आर बेटर ऑफ। डू यू एग्री और नॉट? फिशिंग सीखना जरूरी है कि फिश को कोई पकड़ के लाके दे दे वो अच्छा लगता है? कौन सा अच्छा लगता है किसको? And that is what you are learning in this chapter, that how to find a material topic which are critical to that industry and how to identify it. That's why this chapter need to be read. SASP का एक very good example है, framework again we will refer for financial and material topic. Same thing we did for the same link which I have shared earlier. You can use it for even finding the social impacts. Then comes the how to categorize the priority. You know the materiality prioritization के लिए you need to do the stakeholder survey, look into their impact and categorize it. Whoever has learned materiality, they know this for sure. Then comes external social factor along with internal social factor. Now, anyway, this document is with you. You can go and refer in the Excel sheet of your Diamond Club and check it out and go in detail. So external में क्या क्या cover होगा? External में of course is a detail is there. Have a look at in peacetime, but we will start with a position of interested party. There will be some vested interested parties, specifically in community, which are politically driven. They will create controversial sourcing issue, etc., that you are not, maintaining equitable rights to the society where you are making money, etc., right? How to address it is the discussion which we will do. How to engage these guys in local community level, we'll be reading in this chapter along with product liability and consumer protection. There you need to find that different court cases, how they found out the design flaw is a liability clause on the company which are operating. That's why as an investor, you need to be concerned about certain topics. Then comes the social opportunity. Social opportunity talks about that if there is a lack of social opportunity, I mean, not everybody in the society is getting equal opportunity, specifically in countries like ours or African countries. It becomes a social issue itself. There will be unrest happening in your area, which will kill your business. You remember Calcutta? How many of you know Calcutta episodes? 3 episodes. Once when Mr. Aditya Birla was about to get killed on the road. Second episode, Mr. Tata, Ratan,
No.
has to
He
close.
was not given permission to operate.
Absolutely. So that is the social opportunity side. So don't see as a risk, Calcutta as a risk, but rather see as an opportunity. That's the point of view. Then comes the animal welfare and antimicrobial resistance. Now, biodiversity was introduced in chapter 3 as a new topic in 2025. Animal welfare and antimicrobial resistance also is a discussion topic which acts as an external social factor, specifically after COVID era. You know how COVID has disturbed India, how it challenged this global supply chain because China was closed for 3 years, not 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, right? 2022 also they remain closed. Complete chain of global supply chain was challenged, and people started thinking that reliant only on China will lead them to inflation and maybe unrest in the government, and those government need to leave their seats. Yeah, so that is what the external factors are all about. Then comes the application. Rather than application, let's look into this mega trend first, the social mega trends which are available for discussion. Of course, you have this sheet, go in detail and look it into, but investor need to understand the social mega trend and where each investing companies is lying in that mega trend. Now, what is mega trend? Mega trend is those trend which exist in world at certain point in time, which support certain kind of businesses. Clear? Where it makes a real arbitrage. आपका risk remain the same in that industry or that particular businesses, but your return remain exponentially high. And it can come from all three factors, which is E, S, and G. Okay, here we are talking, of course, about the social. So you need to be careful about the social mega trends. So here, what we will be looking into systemic relationship between social mega trend and businesses, like we did in environment. We will also look into elaborating the material topics in each mega trend and see what are these social mega trend. Do they have a long-term social changes, or they also affect our government, society, economic permanently or not? That is what mega trend means. Then comes the globalization, which we know there is no globalization. Now there is a isolation. The more isolated you are, better you are, right? Because polarization is changing. Slowly, the pivot is happening from US to all across world. And the reasons are obvious. So here in globalization, first you have to understand that how the integration of local and national economies are with the global economy or global market. Second thing we have to learn is the growth in global interaction, which is now not happening, specifically in year 24 and 25. But how the international trade will be impacted tomorrow, be watchful. That's why I wanted to take the session today, because this particular mega trend is going to have a major impact in across the world, not only India, across the world, because one major country is changing its stance. They feel that there is a disparity of tariffs between their country and other. They have forgotten that their currency is the reason. ये कल आप लोग को न्यूज मीडिया में मिलेगा. But I have already given you a thought process. So when you will look into the news media, look from that perspective. On the first place after 1929, we know Great Depression came in America. 1930, it was uncontained. It became controllable. Across world, the problem of Great Depression was felt. And that's why First World War happened, where Hitler born. Right? He was a sepoy in a World War game. First one. Second one, he created World War within 5 years. And then people decoupled from gold-backed currency to fiat currency. That fiat currency created a new ecosystem where the centerpiece remained with the America. Everybody supported it, right? And then, of course, we know the story. It's our own lifetime story after that, right? There was a currency crisis. There was several ups and downs. 2007 financial crisis, 2011-14 oil crisis. उसके पहले 1991 में there was a Gulf War. उसके पहले 71 में there was another oil crisis. So all that centerpiece always remained what? Dollar. Yeah, if you'll try to see every discussion, every crisis has a central piece which was coming from America or a dollar. Yeah, I'm not blaming here, and I'm just trying to see the history from a lens which 2nd of April 2025 is going to about, we are going to feel it. Like Japan is waiting for a mega tsunami. because Malaysia and Myanmar has faced a major tectonic shift and earthquake to the extent of 7.7, Richter map. How that will pan out in Japan, with they are expecting 3 lakh people to die. 3 lakh people, huh? It's not a joke. And it's in the public statement now. Similarly, when the tariff world will change, market is already adjusted by today by 1.5%, I believe. American market has studied, adjusted by 2% nearly. Japan has already adjusted. Kospi has adjusted. So there is something big happening tomorrow. Hopefully that doesn't happen like it didn't happen on 2nd of March, right? 1st of March or 2nd of March, the first wave. I hope that tomorrow things doesn't go totally out of our hand and we remain intact, and we, of course, world never dies, nothing happens. But Great Depression has taught a lesson to world, that it changes the polarity of world. Yeah. Because anyway, we knew colonization was dying, British Empire was at their end, fag end, and America became the superpower. China became superpower, which is getting challenged from US again. See how that spans out. Rather than going into that, let's come back to our story where that how automation and artificial intelligence will play a major role here, is specifically in social factor. This is a new stuff again, which we need to understand from the advent of chat GPT, generative AI, how they are impacting jobs, what kind of upskilling, upgradation we require in our employee. Inequality and wealth creation is another major challenge. The gap between rich and poor has gone massively. Yeah, we will look into those statistics. We will also look into digital disruptions, social media, access to electronic device like Amazon, Uber, Airbnb, what kind of economy they are creating. And we will also look into another mega trend called change in work, woke culture, leisure time, education, all these, quite a weird topic, but we have to address it. It's a part of society now. We need to understand those. Then we will look into individual right and responsibility of family structure, how the DINC structure, DINC. Anybody knows the full form of DINC?
Double income, single child.
Single child wala concept, right? How that had changed the world. Yeah, and how that is impacting our even social side of any corporations. Changing demography, including health and longevity. People are living for 80 years, 90 years. You used to live at 70, 60, 58 when we got independence. 58 was our life expectancy. Now that has gone to 80. What in pension scheme has changed? Nothing. Actually, pension scheme ही हटा दिया. So my challenge is how people will live longer and don't have enough resources to survive it. Investor initiatives like equitable circulations of COVID vaccine, etc., how that has changed as a case study, we will look. And then urbanization and religion has a major problem, a major impact. Apart from that, there is a tricky subject called environmental mega trend with social impact. So climate change and transition risk is also creating a different kind of breed and social workers, which is that same said, you cannot let them work without AC now. Can you? Because temperature is going very high or temperature is going very low. You need heating, you need cooling. Water scarcity is a today's reality. That also requires society to be covered up. For example, Coca-Cola. If you are putting a bottling plant in a region which is already water scarce, the water table has gone down and you are putting a water pumping out of the groundwater, you cannot have a business there. Your business will die. Varun Beverage will start making losses. People will start withdrawing from that investment, and thereby water scarcity is today's reality. Mass migration, there is a case study on water scarcity already produced on World Water Day, please read. Pollution and loss, I think Rajni ji has already done that, can result into stakeholder opposition, social unrest, and that's why social mega trend now provides opportunity when it has a risk. And always remember, risk and opportunity is single word in Chinese alphabets, and it is a same it is a both side of the same coin. Awareness of this is important so that you can capture them. Then we will go into the last part, which is internal social factor, where we will look into the human capital development, how to address that to create a long-term strategy, working condition, health and safety, how to play with that, human rights, the rights inherited in all human being without discrimination is a fundamental right adopted by all constitution across world, except, and I believe, except communism, because communism is all about that. Am I wrong here? Communism is all about that all human beings are equal. Even the capitalist top boss who owns the company is equal shareholder. Why? Because I am also working, he is also working. That's why they are exception, but they are actually same. Then comes the human right. After that, labor rights. Labor rights becomes the main topic for any company, where you need to assess how companies uphold the labor rights. What are the mechanisms they have in their company? Is the freedom of association and employee relations a critical factor for that company? Modern slavery, forced labor, how it is impacting everything. Does ILO makes any sense? International Labor Organization, if they make sense, which part of it is relevant to your industry, along with looking into living wage. Then at the end, we will look into the identifying those material social factor for investor, country specific social factor, sector specific, company level. We will be looking into it. Last but not least, we will be also looking into application of social factor in investment. So materiality and risk assessment is first, quality of management is second, diversity in equity inclusion is third, and ratio analysis and financial modeling is fourth. These are the four way through which you can integrate social factors into your financial model or into your company fundamentals. Are you with me? This is how you calculate the valuation. With that, we come to the end of the session today. Yeah. Any question you have, any doubt you have?
No such as such, because we have just begun.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So have a look at this matrix. There will be one blog around it coming very soon. Anshika will be working on that, I hopefully. And let's meet up again very soon. No date disclosed, otherwise there will be कोई भी डेट बोलो डिबेट पे
अभी तो संडे को क्लास होगा ना?
हाँ बिल्कुल होगा,
Sunday,
बिल्कुल होगा। अभी गिरीश बोल रहा है संडे को is going to somewhere else and he loves to attend. If he loves to attend, then he can attend even in the airplane. Nowadays planes are allowing it. Yeah. So see you guys on Sunday. Take care.
Bye.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Thanks, sir.